Hello YouTubers, DEFan3D88 coming at you out here with the Elko points update from past Saturday on the 16th of August. So I'll get right down into it and then I'll share some stuff about that Saturday event on the 16th moving forward to the rest of the season that I got planning for Elko Speedway here. But first things first, the points. Chris Cruiser Merrick still in the lead in third. And second in points is the 52 at Chad Wolin. Third is the 14 at Grant Brown. Fourth is the 6 of Owen Giles. Fifth is the 8 of Billy Moan. Sixth is the 50 Steve Anderson Jr. Seventh is Jeremy Wolf in the 32 car. Eighth is the 07 of Dylan Selner. Ninth is the 19 of Jake the Snake Ryan. Top 10 and 10th is the 18 of Michael Ostick. Then in 17th, you'll find the 41 of Donnie Rocket Reavers. And in 20th is the 75 of Joel Tyson. There are currently 26 cars on point for Elko in the point standings right now in the late model division. It would be really sweet if that is the full field of the entire season. But Jake Ryan, though, kind of concerning. He has not ran for a while now at Elko Speedway. Same with Michael Ostick, but they're still in contention, which is pretty good, considering that Jake the Snake Ryan is your last year's point championship leader. This year, however, going back to the 3 at Chris Cruiser Merrick, I got these racing scene program magazines sometimes when I go to the track. Since it was my 100th time on Saturday, I picked one up after the race, and Dwayne Burns night, when I got my son, these aren't the ones I had them hanging on the wall. They're the ones that you saw that I did wear though at Elko on the front stretch with the sunglasses. Those are the ones that I got at Elko with my free garage pass, because I was just there for Dwayne Burns night just to get that, because I went to lacrosse the night when I saw the 78 of Skylar Holzhausen win. But that night I was wondering who won Elko for Dwayne Burns. It was the 3 at Chris Cruiser Merrick, and I kind of kicked myself that I went to the wrong track. And but you know what? You win some, you lose some. But congrats on Dwayne Burns night to the 3 of Chris Cruiser Merrick. That's like winning Thunderstruck 93. And I won't be able to go to that event this year because my brother's getting married. I think I said that in other videos in the past, but that is, of course, coming up next month. However, what is coming up next month is Championship at Elko Speedway. And now the 13th of September, that may be the day that I go. I'm not for sure, that's wishy-washy, but Championship night, that's probably the biggest race in my entire life that I will probably be struggling with, because the day before Championship night on the 26th of September is my grandfather's funeral, and who got me into this sport, which is why you see the 75 gear like I do have from over 25 years. The first 14 years we went together from 2000 to 2014, and then soon after he was hit with Parkinson's. And so that really put a damper on us, but we still talked up until the last conversation I had with him. He was still talking about going to Elko. And I said, well, the powers that be, I can't take you out of that darn bed, and I can't take you out of that darn wheelchair with your hoist boom crane. All I can do is talk to you about it and send you videos and photo content. And I've done that in the past, but now he finally saw me in action on Saturday. The tough thing about this now, going to Elko forward the rest of the year, is that I don't want to get emotional all over my camera on my phone and for my YouTube channel. I want to be as much professionally as I possibly can without breaking and cracking down on my YouTube channel. I don't want to do that and tear myself up to the point where I can't physically talk. So, and I just don't want to put myself in that position. So, and this is the reason why I want you guys to understand where I'm coming from with this. The reason that I'm not doing garage interviews for the rest of the year is because of the fact, which is why you didn't see one on Saturday. To me, it was just way too soon. That's the first time I walked into the track with knowing that my grandfather is finally gone. And I really didn't feel like talking to my favorite drivers on camera. I just wanted to take it in for what it's worth. And the 3 team of Chris Cruiser Merrick, reverting back to this car and this team, I hung out with them the entire night because me and my grandfather are diehard Earnhardt fans. So that's what I need. And Chris Cruiser understand where I was coming from. So Chris Merrick, I applaud you a lot because you understood me and my grandfather's relationship, and of course it was told by a lot of the other drivers about that 3 car, and this is the current point leader. And if that 3 car does win championship night and wins the championship, that'd be the first one for Chris Cruiser Merrick. He was eligible in the past, but Jacob Gady kept beating him out. Now he's got a shot to do it this year. He's got a few points ahead over that 52 at Chad Walling, built up a good cushion from last Saturday, being consistent. Even though Chad Walling finished ahead of him, it still wasn't enough for the 52 to catch the 3 car. That's what I want to see, is consistency and prestige from the 3 team more than any other car out there now, because the 3 I'm really looking forward to that. So if this same car wins championship night this year, that's going to be very emotional for me, and I'm sure I'll probably hear it over the PA. I didn't know that Jake Ryan won the championship until I did the interview with him last year. Is there going to be an interview with me and the 3 team? There is, but probably not on camera. I want to wait until next year to congratulate him on my YouTube channel when I'm able to talk correctly. I'm wanting you guys to understand this. So what is going to happen is September the 6th, I am going to Dells Raceway Park. That is on Elko Speedway. I will do garage interviews there because that's on Elko Speedway. La Crosse Oktoberfest, same deal. I can do interviews there because that's on Elko Speedway. Because Elko has a special place in my heart because that's the track that I went to the longest with my grandfather. So sentimental purpose wise, at out of town tracks, I'm okay with that. It's not Elko Speedway. Elko, for how much I know the track, and I've done personal stuff with that thing, more than any other race fan has ever done in their lifetime. To get this track to myself twice in my life. Graduation photos 10 years ago when I graduated in 2015 during COVID. The interview that I shot with Sam Shea on my YouTube channel in 2020. That's on YouTube in my Hooters outfit. You can check that out right now after this video is done. If you want, or if you've seen it already, then you know what I'm talking about. But it's gonna take a while for me to get on point. Next year, Sarah's with a smile for sure at Elko, because then I'll have all of the off-season and winter break to compose myself to be professionally done as possible. Adam Broccoli, got to give you credit for that, man. You drove me into the track in your Chevy Silverado from 2015. We said a prayer for my grandfather. We even prayed for my consistency and prestige for how I'm doing the interviews on my YouTube channel, to make sure, just to pray for me that I can get through them correctly and as patiently as I possibly can without cracking and breaking down on camera. So that was really nice. Jason Searcy and everyone else at Elko, you guys made my night for my 100th on the front stretch, and that video should have a lot more likes on it in my book. I know it's at 2 right now. I think that should at least be at 50, because that's just how I view that. Some of those videos should have a lot more likes on it than it's getting, probably because of the fact there's no garage interview. You understand now why there's not, because of the passing of my grandfather. This is why I'm glad I'm making this video now, to tell you guys on camera and kind of in person that you guys should really just respect my wishes. So yeah. And also too, I don't know if you saw it or not, I was holding this Earnhardt card. That's because these are the car keys to my grandfather's 87 Aero Coupe Monte Carlo from 1987. The square key is the square key is the ignition key. The key that's the rounded key. If I can show it correctly, yeah. So then the rounded key is the T-top, and the trunk key and the door key. and the square one's just for the ignition. So yeah, so that was really cool, and here is a couple of photos with my grandfather and his buddy's camper from 2003. This is my grandfather with that Chevy Monte Carlo. And then a really older one from 1994, 1995. That's my relative Bobby Musage. My mom is on the far left of the photo, and then Sydney, my other relative, there holding a bag, and then my grandfather is the really cool pudgy guy that's next to her. So that was really, really cool to get these photos. So, and I've been pretty blessed to be around that car. It's not in the family anymore, unfortunately, but I've got good fond memories of taking naps. Even slept in it one time, stuck out of my grandparents' house in mid-2006, which will be 20 years next year, when I was 10. And snuck out of bed at 1 o'clock in the morning. I slept the rest of the time inside the Monte Carlo. My grandmother wasn't too happy, but my grandfather was like, you know what, I'll give you credit, but just don't do that again. So that was funny. And but I do appreciate the support and love, and the drivers understand it, and a lot of the other representatives of Elko understood it too. So now not just my 100th is pretty awesome. Going into my 101, but for sure championship night. I'm going into championship night like Rockingham of 2001 when everyone left the Calvary Church in 2001 for Dale Earnhardt's funeral, but for NASCAR personnel, they knew their mission was going to Rockingham. After my grandfather's just the same way, like 2001 rules are modern, but it's same rules kind of apply. I'm leaving his funeral like I'm leaving the North Carolina Calvary Church and heading out to Elko Speedway to honor my grandfather the best way I know how. Because if he knew, and like Mike Joyce put it best, if Dale Earnhardt and my grandfather knew that we were going racing, they'd kick our butts for it. And sure enough, so that's why I don't want to miss that race, because boy, if I go to heaven and I get bombarded by racing personnel and my grandfather, it ain't going to be pretty to figure out real quick that I should have gone to September 27th, that championship night in 2025, if I missed it. So knowing to not regret that for the rest of my life, I am going come heck or high water. So you guys will see the racing, of course. There won't be any interviews because I need time to myself to be as 100% on point as possible, like I have in the past in the earlier year. Opener was a good example of that. Same with Lacrosse Speedway when I saw the Crystal 99 car. Quite happy about that interview. That's the most views and likes that has gotten this year. That's the big video of 2025. I appreciate you guys for that one, an Elko opener. Now towards the back half, it's kind of somber and bittersweet, but it's how I'm needing to move. This is the healing process of moving forward, is to now take life slow as it comes at you, and then when it times to come back around again, then you start moving forward. So to me, next year will be like 2002, and then we'll start picking it up. So it's the same kind of concept, and my grandfather was just like Dale Earnhardt to me growing up, so it's like losing Big E all over again, to put it in that perspective as well. So, but appreciate you guys as subscribers. This channel's at my channel number at 388, which is kind of cool. I want that number, of course, to move up higher than my channel number. But I'm wondering if that's a conspiracy, because people are like, oh, we shouldn't subscribe to his channel because the number's at the same number as his title number, so we want to keep that the same. I don't want that to be the same forever. I would like that subscriber number to move up as quickly as possible as if I can. But moving forward, next year, you guys will get everything. This year, it's going to go kind of slow for Elko, but Lacrosse and Dells will be the same with driver interviews. So just not Elko. So if some of these same Elko drivers show up to these Wisconsin tracks, which they will, I'm fine with that. But I'm not going to do Elko though, because it's too soon. So that's how I viewed it. But I'm glad I got you guys the points for the 16th, and that was easy to talk about because I'm not at the track. So. Which is cool. Kind of bummed because that's where I know my grandfather is there. That's where I feel him the most. Not in here. I think I would, but no, I feel him more at Elko than anything, and that's where I need to. That's where I got to come to terms with it. So to move forward in the healing process. But then next year I'll start feeling him every step of the way. My YouTube channel, he'll be with me next to me. I know for a fact he will every step. After every feature race is over, like I said, at the track, you will see my grandfather and me's photo for the feature winner of every race that I go to, including every NASCAR race that I go to at Iowa, ARCA, Xfinity, and Cup. He'll be there next year for the ARCA race at Elko. Same thing in the infield. My grandfather and my photo from 2006 will be in there in our Dale Jr. jackets. So I even own his Budweiser one. I never did like the Winter Circle Dale Jr. one that I had as a kid because I wanted mine to say Budweiser, not the day name. I hate that legal right bull crap. So, but appreciate you guys' comments. Saw some of that. And then really just wanting all you to respect my wishes as possibly and as respectively as you guys can. So, but thank you for the love and from Elko Speedway. Appreciate it. My 100th went really well. It was really cool to get notable names in there for that night with Brett Keane and Conrad Jorgensen in the 99-28 car on the slow down lap with American flags in the car. That was the Raceway Park Championship battle in 2013. And Conrad Jorgensen's 28 car was the same exact car he won the Raceway Park Championship with in 2013. It was just a number 3 back then. He has it to 28. But that was really neat. And then for their stats as well on August 2nd to make their 158th and their 150th start. On top of that, my 100th on that Saturday, the 16th of August, which is the same date that we would actually gone to Michigan for the Busch and Nextel Cup event almost 20 years back in 2007. So that was cool to go to the track link to the Michigan date of August from back in the day, which was really cool. So, but thank you guys a lot, and I'll see you on the next video at Dell's Raceway Park.